kickoff, every coach ticked off. If it's NFL football and it happened, we got it. Never miss a thing with broadcast replays, condensed games, and coaches' film. NFL Game Pass. Get it for a new lower price today.
Football. It is Thursday, January 4th. I am Kay Adams. This is Kyle Brown. We've got Peter Schrager and Nate Burleson. How's the weather looking outside?
It's beautiful. I don't know what everybody's talking about. Look at that view over my shoulder there.
It's sunny.
65 degrees. I'm going to put some zinc oxide in my nose and put some rays. One of those. Yeah,
it's not a bombogenesis?
Bombogenesis, and then I don't know what it is. Saccogenesis. I have no idea.
It's kind of fun to say bombogenesis. What's the other one? Cyclone something?
Yeah, bomb cyclone or something like that.
Snownado?
Snownado. Yeah, send us your thoughts.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I hope we're having a nice morning. We certainly are. And we are getting you ready, not for wild weather. We'll leave that for the 9 o'clock hour. Instead, we're getting you ready right now for Wild Card Weekend. So let's see how all of these playoff teams in the NFC stack up against each other. It's time for the lead block.
Lead block!
And it's time for, say it with, what don't you like over there? What's going on?
We'll get into it.
Let's just be honest here. This is called Name That Team. You guys are mad about the logos again.
This segment's become logo gate every single time. We have to hear about it.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So, yeah, you're taking a look here, of course, at Wild Card Weekend. We're going to talk here about, I believe, the NFC side of things.
Yeah.
What's your problem?
Is this the Panthers?
This one I don't know anymore.
Someone's a great care cutting out these tiny little whiskers over here, but we keep hearing that we don't have the right logos. We have the right spirit, right? We're trying. That's most important. It's about what's here.
So that's not the right logo.
I don't know if it is or not.
I can't tell. The whiskers, though.
Look at someone works so hard with the safety
Craftsmanship
systems.
stands for something.
Yeah. Emmy right there.
Here's how it works. You guys have those logos, those beautifully cut out faces of the logos, and I'm going to give you each a category. You hold up the team that you think best corresponds to that category. Let's start with what some say is the most important position on the field, the quarterback. We have the past two MVPs, a future Hall of Famer in action on the NFC side of things. So which NFC playoff team has the GOAT, the best quarterback?
Ooh, this is so tough, Kay. You coming right out the gate with
the 2017 GOAT.
Okay.
The best one right now.
Yeah, the best.
Who's the best?
I shouldn't have said GOAT. The best. The best NFC quarterback. Take that as you will.
Okay.
I'm going with Drew Brees. I'm going with Mr. Old School right now. Now, we've been talking about all these different quarterbacks, and at some point in the season, there was a question mark surrounding them. You haven't really questioned Drew Brees that much this year. The only time you question him is the game where they actually won and he didn't throw a touchdown. And that was a good thing. I'm going with Drew Brees, and it might be more about his surrounding pieces and him not having to throw out his arm to keep his team into a game.
I have such a...
What is in your hand?
I know. Let me explain. The reason I was such a stickler on you saying the GOAT was because in a million years I would not take this quarterback's career over others. But right now, going into the playoffs, the most consistent quarterback in the NFC is this guy. It's Case Keenum. And am I saying I would take him over Cam Newton in an NFL draft? No. Am I saying I would trust him in a big spot over Drew Brees? I don't think so. But right now, as we enter the playoff picture, no quarterback, if you look at the blind resumes and just the numbers and the wins, has done more and has done it in a bigger spot.
I like that.
Than this dude, undrafted Case Keenum. Now, have at it, Twitter. I know that sounds crazy. I'm doing shock therapy here, but it's true. He's the most consistent guy.
Right. We're talking 2017, second half of the season. He got in a groove, found some rhythm with the entire offense, got comfortable, and never looked back. Drew Brees is the only one that has a ring, but we're talking about this year.
Yeah.
That's true. He has played very well. I'm going to go with just pure talent, and I'm going to go hold up this beautiful Panthers logo. I say this again. If Cam Newton plays his best game, the best game he's capable of, it's better than anybody's in football. That means Rodgers, that means Brady. I think it may be better than anyone in the history of football. He's that talented, that dominant. We need to see it this weekend, but the ceiling for Cam is higher than anyone's ever. I will go number one, Chosen's dad, Cam Newton.
Speaking of dominant, name that team, dominant defense, who has the best defensive player in the NFC?
Good list here.
I'm going right here. I'm going that big man, Aaron Donald. There's been so much juice this year for Gurley and Goff and McVay, deservedly so. This guy does not get as much as he should. You understand he's had 11 sacks in 14 games from the D-tackle position. That is a joke. I like to refer on Twitter the dark room mafia, the guys who go like Baldy, these incredible geniuses who look at film. They love Aaron Donald, and I don't I don't think Matt Ryan is going to love him this weekend, but I do.
Yeah, he's an absolute Destructicon. He reminds me of when I seen Sue at his most dominant, because he can do everything. And what you're talking about from the D-tackle position, I need people to understand is most of the time you're fighting against double teams. They game plan to stop him from getting to the backfield, getting to the quarterback, and like you said, still very productive from a statistical standpoint. I'm going with Aaron Donald.
What's crazy about Donald is that he held out all throughout training camp, and the Rams were like, come on, man, like, show up. He showed up, and now they're going to have to pay him even more. Because he had a dominant season. I'm going to go with the man in the middle out of Cincinnati, Ohio, Mr. Luke Kuechly. This is a guy who, when he's on the field, the Panthers' defense is one of the best in the league. When he's off the field, they're not that good. So Luke Kuechly, to me, he is the Cam Newton of the defense, and he's done it. But I think if there's anyone up for the challenge, it's him, Luke Kuechly.
And quickly, what sound does a ram make?
Kyle, what motion does a ram make?
If you're trying to impersonate a ram, what do rams do? They go like this.
They don't actually do
it. Whoa, it's fine. I go I'm a method actor over here.
Get him in the protocol.
Daniel Day. No, I'm good. See the size of this skull? I can take it. Worry about the table.
You did. That was Pumbaa from The Lion King, a war.
Oh, all right.
That is what that was.
Sorry.
Next category could be tough to hear for some squads. I want to know which NFC playoff team has the biggest concern. Name that team.
Okay.
I'll go first.
By the way, Everson Griffin should have gotten some love in that last one, but we'll move on.
You know, Nick Foles is a concern.
Talk about it.
But I'm more concerned with their defensive backfield. I saw Jalen Mills, who we love. He was on Good Morning Football weekend. He's got the green hair, Green Goblin. Get smoked by Travaris King in a game against the Giants. And then the very next week, Amari Cooper smoke him again. This defense, Jim Schwartz is interviewing for head coaching jobs right now. This defense needs to step it up. And I'm talking about the defensive backs. Malcolm Jenkins, Jalen Mills, Ronald Darby. There's a lot to be desired. I think if the Eagles get in a shootout, and they might with some of these teams, I'm a little concerned about the back end of their defense, so I'm going Eagles.
You want to talk about the offense for the Eagles a little bit? You concerned? I'm very surprised to hear you say the biggest concern for the Eagles is the defense.
Defensive backs, I feel like, have left a lot of things out there
in the month of December.
This is a Foles-friendly table, too. Very Foles-friendly, especially that side.
I'm with you. I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons. I'll say this first before I go on this little rant. This could be the most talented team in the postseason. From what they have on the offense, defensively, and what they bring to the table, and their coaching staff is phenomenal. But there's 2 weeks in the regular season that causes concern, which is why I don't know what I'm going to get. One game, Julio Jones goes off. He has 250, 2 touchdowns. And then the next week, I believe he had 24 yards. So that type of inconsistency when the offense is supposed to flow through Julio Jones, that is what causes concern. Playing with Randy, offense went through Randy. Playing with Calvin, offense went through Calvin. Falcons, offense, it goes through Julio. If you don't give him the ball, most likely you won't win the game.
A couple of weeks ago, Peter had this cool little thing where he talked about the Panthers wide receivers beyond Devin Funchess and called them the law firm, and Ron Rivera won the T-shirt. It's this great group of misfits and Mose Frazier and everything. It didn't look so good. Mose Frazier, first of all, didn't even dress.
He's inactive.
Cam started the game 0 of 9. He threw 3 picks in a loss. Cam said, I don't care who's out there. My job is to score, which I respect. But I'm a little worried after Olsen and Funchess. I know the Panthers do it differently.
Brenton Burson doesn't do it for you?
I hope he does. I like Brenton Burson, but he didn't do it in Week 17, and they got to do it in Week 18 in a couple days.
If Cam has an A game, they can win that game.
Yes.
They can win.
Yeah.
I'm scared that they'll win that game.
And if Cam has a B game, they don't win that game.
No, not at all.
I'm saying A game.
My favorite concern, not my favorite, but the one that you pointed out was Sam Ficken. So can you hit me with that really quick?
Sure. Listen, Legatron, Greg Zuerlein, the Rams Pro Bowl kicker, the best kicker in football, got hurt. He's done for the season. They get a guy named Sam Ficken from Penn State who is working in finance. They pull him off the street. He misses his first 2 kicks. Look out, we have problems. Then last week he makes a couple, both inside 25 yards. Long story short, these games often, ask the Vikings, ask the Colts and Mike Vanderjagt, ask anybody for years. Tom Brady's got a couple of rings because of kickers. The Rams are going to need a clutch kick at some point in these playoffs. I hope Sam Ficken makes it.
It'll be a huge story if Ficken pays off and does that. That'd be amazing.
Huge. It'd be great. From finance to Twin Cities.
Yeah.
It leads to some great headlines, too.
Yeah,
true.
It really does.
Final category here may or may not have something to do with the outcome of these games. I would like to know which NFC player is the best entertainer.
Oh, man.
Which team has the best and most entertaining
I reached
player?
for that fleur-de-lis as fast as I could, and I'm thinking about a rookie with a nose ring who's looking for another ring, who elevates into the crowd, who jogs on kick returns. He does so much without even saying anything. I've never looked at an Alvin Kamara tweet. I've never really heard a soundbite of his, and I don't even need to. These are better than any tweet with 80,000 retweets. Kamara, that is my guy. 41.
I'm doubling down. I did the Buccaneers Saints week 17. Kamara started the game for the Saints by returning a kick 106 yards for a touchdown. The next drive, he ran it in 12 yards for a touchdown. And then the next drive, they threw a on-the-money pass 40 yards downfield that he caught perfectly on the sideline. He does it all. He is unbelievable. I am here for the show. Sunday afternoon, the Alvin Kamara experience.
Quickly, what is his kid like? So you worked that game. You've seen him a couple times.
What is he like? He's got a nose ring. He's got crazy hair, and he's completely polite and genuine. But he had a very interesting childhood. He went to Alabama. He lost his scholarship for behavioral issues. Ends up at Tennessee. And he slips to the third round as the 5th running back taken, and he is the single most exciting player in the playoffs.
Man, can I say something? Watching your face while Peter's talking about Kamara, and you were the Homer Simpson, like when you back up into the grab, because I saw you had the Rams thing in your hand, and you just go into the bushes. That's great.
No.